Hello, everyone. Mike Ballantyne here, and welcome to week three's edition of the Sports Pulpit. This week's topic is the NFL Supplemental Draft. We will define the draft by telling you why it exists, who is eligible, and how it works. Then we will talk about current Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby and what the supplemental draft may mean to him and his NFL career. There are four different athletes that have been involved in this supplemental draft, and they've got varying degrees of success. And what we'll do is we'll look at all four of them and we'll ask ourselves the question, which of these four do we think will closest mirror Brandon Sorsby if he enters the NFL draft? Then we'll research if gambling is becoming a problem in college football and the ramifications of that. And finally, in episode 5, which teams could be interested in Brandon Sorsby and if the possible potential is worth the possible punishment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us again. Yes, it's 5 short form podcasts this week. So to ensure that you don't miss any of them, subscribe to our channel, All Gloves Off Sports Media, where you can get an absolute ton of content, like the Red Hot Reds, Minor League Mondays, Football with Cheese, the Lights Out Sports Podcast, Fanboys Unleashed featuring Mr. First Down, and the one that I'm really excited about right at the moment, which is Cheap Pop Society, our newest podcast. That's a wrestling podcast. So with that being said, and knowing that it's free to do so, subscribe, make that bell ring, like our programming, and talk us up by sharing our great sports content in your social medias with all of your friends. All right, guys and gals, let's dive in. What is the NFL Supplemental Draft? Well, condensed down, it's a mechanism that allows draft-eligible players a chance to be selected by NFL teams who, for various reasons, did not enter the actual NFL draft. Now, these players apply for the draft because of, unexpected eligibility issues, be it either academic or disciplinary related. And as I said, the players do have to apply and be accepted by the NFL League office. Here's a little history on the NFL Supplemental Draft. The first draft was actually held in 1977. The league only does the draft if there are eligible prospects, so it's not been done every year since 77. And the last time someone was actually selected in the draft was when the Arizona Cardinals selected defensive back Jalen Thompson, who is now with the Dallas Cowboys in 2019. Excuse me. How does the process work? Well, the order of the draft is determined by a lottery system, just like most other drafts. But that lottery system in this supplemental draft is then broken into 3 separate categories. The first one, teams with 6 or fewer wins. The second one, the rest of the teams that didn't make the playoffs. And the third group that the lottery is broken into are the 14 playoff teams. So each group has a separate lottery, and then those results are placed in the right order. There are rounds to the supplemental draft as well, so that's what we mean by in the right order. Rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, on down the line. So If more than one team places a bid on the same player in the same round, then the lowest pick team wins the bid. So a team in the 6 or fewer wins would win that round before the team from the 4 playoffs. But there is a big catch here. If you place a bid on a player as a team and that bid is accepted, the team must then give up that pick in the actual draft the following year. So for instance, say the Arizona Cardinals place a bid in the 3rd round of this upcoming supplemental draft and it's accepted. Then they agree to give up their actual 3rd round pick in the actual draft the following year. So you might also ask, well, when will this supplemental draft take place? By rule, it happens on or before the 7th calendar day prior to the opening of the first training camp. Now, hang on, guys, before you get out your schedules of all 32 teams' training camps and everything else, and then you start counting backwards and 2 and 5 and 4 minus 7. And hang on. Let me tell you 2 things. The exact date hasn't been announced yet because the NFL doesn't know if we're actually going to have any eligible players declare for this draft yet. We're pretty sure we're going to have one, and we'll talk about him tomorrow. But we don't really know yet. And to kind of ballpark it, it's funny that we use a baseball term right here in the middle of this football segment. It'll be sometime in early to middle July. All right, guys. So on tomorrow's episode of the Sports Pulpit, we'll look at current Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby, why he may be eligible for this draft that we're talking about, who decides that, what Texas Tech, his new team, is saying about him, what the Cincinnati Bearcats, his old team, is saying about the situation, and what steps the NFL could take if he is chosen by a team. Until then, guys, like, subscribe, share, and remember what the great Ernie Banks said. The only way to find out if you're a good sport is to lose. Thank you for being here. Certainly appreciate it. And until next time,